My wife and I have been talking about doing a Best Media of 2022 video. And spoilers for that video, the Batman is still the best thing in 2022. I can confirm when it comes to my own unique likes and dislikes. When I talk to friends or people online about the movie, eventually the conversation comes to one specific scene or an idea that the movie brings up. I've been contemplating whether to take the time or not to compile the pieces I've put together into a video to share my findings. I've found that for whatever reason, the videos I've released up until this point have not really been worth my time with the low number of views that they've garnered. But alas, I think my passion for this movie's brilliance has overcome my own self-conscious feelings about wasting time. For instance, it takes 3 hours of my life every time I watch this movie, and to me, that's life well spent. You see, there are so many special things that this movie did for me, but I don't really need to get into them all right now. What is important for today is that we just focus on one particular scene. Spoilers ahead for the Batman, so if you have not seen the Batman, do not watch this video. If you have, an early like on this video could do wonders for my channel to finally begin growing it out of its infancy. Today, what I want to talk about is the interrogation room scene between Batman and the Riddler.
Listen, you gave me that.
I gave you nothing.
You showed me what was possible.
You showed me all it takes is fear and a little focused violence. You inspired me. You're out of your goddamn mind. What?
The scene directly before this shows that Batman realizes Riddler probably knows Bruce's identity. "I know the real you" is written on his wall, next to the picture of Bruce's face from the funeral earlier in the movie, and next to a picture of Batman.
It was all there.
It's at this moment Gordon receives a call that the Riddler will only talk to Batman, prompting the beginning of one of the most memorable scenes of 2022, and I'd argue ever, in a Batman movie. They'll remember both of us.
Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne, he repeats again and again with the Riddler's creepy theme playing over it. Now wait a second. Did you catch that? It seems so obvious. It's right there. His theme, the music that's playing in the background. It's Ave Maria. It's just in a minor chord. Of course it is. They've been playing the song through the whole movie, you say. Yes. Precisely. That's exactly what I'm saying. Okay, but why is that important? Let me take you to the novel that came out with the film that nerds like me fell in love with and should definitely own a copy of. For this, I don't even have to go far into the brief runtime of the book. Instead, the answer is in the first few pages. The book's prologue begins at Thomas Wayne's mayoral announcement ceremony.
You know, I was there that day. The day the great Thomas Wayne announced he was running for mayor made all those promises.
We see through the eyes of young Bruce that the reporters there are really puzzled. They're puzzled because this ceremony doesn't open with an announcement, but instead opens with a choir of orphans singing. You see, one of Thomas Wayne's strategies to get a little bit of goodwill from the city of Gotham was to give Wayne Manor to the orphanage. Young Bruce feels the stare of all these children looking at him in his fancy suit, the son of a billionaire, as they're being paraded around these puzzled reporters. But when Bruce actually turns to look at the children, he finds that no one's actually staring at him, save for one, a boy with wireframe glasses that's staring into his soul. To break the awkward tension, Bruce decides to just flash a friendly smile at the staring boy. That boy ends up being Edward. Later in the book, Edward recalls the same event, but he recalls it much differently. From Edward's perspective, the smile Bruce gave was a smug act, a holier-than-thou rich brat targeting an orphan with nothing. Again, throughout the entirety of the movie, we hear this choir of children singing Ave Maria in different forms. The movie begins with the song. In the big funeral scene, the choir is heard singing the song there as well. Just like the song, the Riddler hides his riddles in plain sight, waiting for someone matching his cunning to put the pieces together. And getting back to that interrogation room scene, he begins by toying with the cameras and officers listening in by just nearly giving away Bruce's identity. He knows that none of them are smart enough to figure it out. And even if they were, he really doesn't respect them enough to think that they'd have that mental capacity. So what happens in the scene? Batman and Riddler eventually establish that they have different motivations, but that they've been using similar methods to get their results. Edward thinks that he's been on a team with Batman all along. "Why did you write me?" Batman asks. "What do you mean?" Edward says, clearly choosing his words carefully, as to not give up the fact that he wrote both Bruce and Batman during the course of the film. "I told you we've been doing this together. You're a part of this." Batman goes on to reject Riddler, saying he'll die alone in Arkham as a pathetic, nobody psychopath. This causes Riddler to hyperventilate and scream in a deranged manner.
You're a pathetic psychopath.
Begging for attention.
You're gonna die alone in Arkham. No! A nobody! No! This is not how this was supposed to go. I had it all planned out.
After composing himself and establishing Batman as his enemy, Edward does one final act of spite. He sings a song. The same song the choir had just finished when he first laid eyes on Bruce. Riddler is keeping Batman's secret identity, but at the same time gloating to Batman that he knows exactly who he is. A rich, spoiled son of a billionaire and nothing more. Thank you so much for finding your way to my videos. And if you have the time, give me a like, subscribe, or just comment and tell me what you thought. If you have any other theories about this movie, honest to God, I freaking love it. So I'll talk to you about it till my face is blue. See ya.